Welcome back. Today's video is a Friday Reads, and I'm really excited because it's been a while since I've done a Friday Reads and I haven't been doing them on a regular basis for a really long time, so I'm hoping that I'm back on track with that. We'll see. But in any case, I'm here to let you know what I've been reading over the last week and what I'm planning to read going into next week. And just as an aside, this eye is watering. I know it's watering. It's going to be watering through this whole thing because it's been watering for the last 3 days. I actually went to the doctor today to make sure I didn't have something like pink eye, which I don't. I'm safe there. But it's definitely some sort of allergy or irritated eye thing. I don't know. But it's going to be watering through this whole thing, so we should all come to terms with that right now. Okay, moving on to the books. So this last week I've been working on 2 books primarily, and one of them I'm probably actually going to be finished with by the time I have this video posted. I'm filming this on Thursday and I only have about 50 pages left in this. It is The Dragon Keeper by Robin Hobb, and this is the first book in her Rainwild Chronicles series, which I'm doing a buddy read on with Frankie from Frankie Reads, and you can check out her channel up top or down below. She is fabulous, and we have been having such a good conversation about this book and about just the world in general and all of the series leading up to this series and Hobb's writing, and it's just been such a blast to go through this with her, and I'm really excited to continue on through the series. The second book is The Dragon Haven. I don't think I'll be able to start on it in this next week, but I'm really hoping to pick it up shortly after that because it's Robin Hobb books. It's like the Pringles of books. You cannot just have one. You have to just continue until they are all gone because they're so good. Yes. The second book that I've been working on over this past week is A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. This is the second book in her Wayfarer series. The first one is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. I adored that book. It was one of my top 5 reads from 2017. And this one has not been disappointing me. I am about halfway through, just maybe a little bit under halfway right now, and I've been doing a buddy read on this one with Jess, and we are just having such a good time with it. In the first book, we are on the ship, the Wayfarer, and we're following the entire crew. So the story kind of jumps around a bit between the different characters. We're learning all of their different backstories and their relationships to each other, and at the same time, we're going on this actual mission for the crew to complete this. Yeah, anyway, at the end of the book, a few characters go off in another direction. I'm not going to say anything more so I don't spoil it, but this book picks up with those few characters that go off in this new direction, and so we get to go see what they are doing and where they've come from and what they're all about. So instead of jumping around between the entire crew, this book really is just jumping back and forth between 2 storylines, and it has 3 main characters that we're kind of figuring out throughout those 2 storylines. I am just fascinated. I stayed up way too late last night because I could not stop just reading one more chapter, one more chapter, one more chapter. So good. So I am definitely going to be continuing on with this one over the weekend and into next week until I finish it because it's great. Next, I'm working on the June pick for the S'more Sci-Fi Book Club, which is the podcast I co-host with Adrienne Tilley, and the pick for this month is The Moon is a Harsh Mistress by Robert Heinlein. This will be my first time reading Heinlein, but I've heard really good things about this book in particular, so I'm pretty excited to check it out and just see what his style is like, since we've been reading a lot of the big authors from sort of that golden age of science fiction, and yeah, this is among them. So I am excited to jump into this one. I'm going to work on reading the first half of this, which is about 350 pages or 400 pages. So I'm going to read about 200 of it in this next week so we can do the first episode of the podcast, and then I will save the rest for later. Moving on, I have a couple books that I picked out for the Queer Lit Readathon. I'm really excited about this readathon. It's going to be happening over the next week, and there's a video about it which I'll link up top and down below if you want to check that out. It's a very relaxed readathon, which I enjoy. If you read anything that is queer lit, you've already participated and you're good. But they also have some fun things like a little bingo board where you can try to see if you can, get a row or whatever. It's just, you can kind of make up whatever goal you want for it, but they give you a few ideas and prompts to help you with that if you want it. Yeah. So I just thought it was fun. But I have two books picked out in particular. First is Passing Strange, which is a fantasy story which is set in San Francisco in the 1940s. And I know that there's magic. It's a fantasy book, but I don't know much more about it except that people love it and I'm excited to figure out what's going on. And my other pick for the readathon is Daughter of Mystery, which is the romance novel that Jess gave me for Valentine's Day this year. Then I actually have one more book that I'm working on right now, which was not in my June TBR, but I'm excited to add it back in, and that is The King of Bones and Ashes by J.D. Horn. I was actually sent this copy to review back in February, I think. Yeah, and I started reading it, and then my health stuff kind of took over, and then I kind of got distracted by all the health stuff, and then I forgot about it. So I got a reminder asking me if I had done a review on it, and I hadn't. So I want to. So I'm gonna read this and do a review, and I'm really looking forward to it. J.D. Horn is also the author of the Witching Savannah series, which I have read and enjoyed, and I've done a couple reviews for those books. One of the fun things about reading J.D. Horn books for me is that my aunt happens to be one of his beta readers. She's the one that introduced me to the Witching Savannah series, but I didn't realize at the time that she was beta reading for him. And then it just so happens that his PR person saw my review of the first book and then asked me if I would want to review some of the future books and sent me copies of them, and then the copies that I got had my aunt's name in the acknowledgements, and it was just a really cool thing. So she also beta read on this one apparently. She sent the acknowledgements, so that's super fun. So I'm really excited to read this one and see what it's about. I'm only about 20 or 30 pages into this one so far, but it does have kind of a similar vibe to the Witching Savannah series, so if you've read that one, you might be interested in this one. It's a new series. This is the first book in it, and it's called Witches of New Orleans, and there's a cat pawing at my door. It's set in current times. It kind of starts at Hurricane Katrina and then jumps forward. But yeah, so just like modern day witches in these very richly cultured southern cities. It's kind of his thing, I think. So I'm really interested to see what happens in this one and what becomes of the Witches of New Orleans. So we'll see, and you can look forward to a review on this one soon. And that's what I've been reading and what I'm planning to read this next week. I have way too many books in this pile to possibly finish in the next week, but I'm hoping to finish off a few and hopefully make some good progress on a few more. And I will update you next week on where I am with everything. So leave me a comment down below to let me know what you've been reading, if you've read any of these books, what you think about them. I would love to hear it, and thank you all so much for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. I hope you all are having a wonderful week so far, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!